Welcome to RoboNews. My name is Tony. Grab some tea, some coffee, some cookies. We have some exciting stories, some scary stories. A lot has happened this week. From the first production robot to AI guns. Let me tell you something about everything. Let's see what happened this week in the world of robots. For years, I saw those videos online of robots doing backflips, stretching, running, blah, 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 some viral moments, some dancing here and there. It was all cool, fun and games. But you see those robots and you could never buy one. So I was like, whatever, But from this week on, it is all about to change. One company took a huge step to put in humanoid robots in our houses, and it will happen way faster than you think. 1X Technologies has officially started scaling production of its humanoid robot Neo from its California manufacturing facility. Unlike most humanoid robots that are still limited to research labs or controlled demonstrations, Neo is being built with real commercial deployment in mind. The robot is designed to help with tasks like home assistance, security, and logistics, and it stands out with soft fabric-covered body that's meant to make working around people safe. But the biggest surprise wasn't the robot itself, it was the price. Reports this week suggest Neo is expected to cost around $20,000, with commercial leasing options starting at roughly $499 per month. Businesses can already begin placing orders, making Neo one of the first humanoid robots that's generally moving beyond prototypes and into the market. We're still at the very beginning of this transition. You're probably not going to see one move into your neighbor's lawn next month, but for the first time, the conversation is shifting from can companies build humanoid robots to how fast can they manufacture them. And this is the big part I think a lot of people are overlooking. This isn't just about 1X technology. Every company building humanoid robots is now racing towards the same goal, large-scale production. Once companies figure out how to manufacture thousands of robots instead of dozens, price starts falling, software improves fast, and adoption speeds up. That's when the industry really takes off. The race isn't just about building the smartest robot anymore. It's about building one that people can actually afford. Now, I'm a little bit torn on this one because still $20,000 is a lot of money. We're not anywhere near that most of the families can afford this thing. And well, let's be honest, it's not going to do a lot of stuff around the house that you actually need it to do. But on the other hand, it's honestly cheaper than I expected. A few years ago, if you would ask me how much would be the first commercially available robot, I would say probably more than 100 grand. So now, here in the company talking about monthly leasing, it's a massive shift. I think over the next few years, it's not going to be AI, it's not going to be hardware, it's going to be manufacturing that is going to be the biggest battle between the companies. The company that figures out first how to build humanoid robots at big scale to reduce the prices will be in the lead. And I think this week, the race has officially begun. All right, so from robots helping around the house to making autonomous decisions on the battlefield. This next story honestly feels a bit like a sci-fi movie. A startup just raised $200 million to build an autonomous weapon that can detect, track down, and shoot enemy drones completely autonomous. Alien Control Systems has just secured a massive $200 million funding round to accelerate the production of its autonomous counter-drone system called Bullfrog. As drones become one of the biggest threats on modern battlefields, militaries around the world are looking for faster ways to stop them. The problem is that the drones move incredibly fast, can attack in swarms, and often give human operators only seconds to react. That's where the Bullfrog comes in. Using high-speed cameras, advanced sensors, and AI-powered computer vision, the system can automatically detect incoming drones, calculate their movement in real time, and guide its weapon with incredible precision. Unlike traditional air defense systems that can cost millions of dollars per interception, Bullfrog is designed to be much more affordable and scalable solution against small aerial threats. The exact price of each unit hasn't been made public since it's been developed for military customers, but analysts estimate each system could cost well into six figures depending on its final configuration. One thing is very clear though, investors think that autonomous robotic defense systems will be the next hot thing to invest. I don't think the story is really about one weapon. It's about where military technology is heading. We've already seen drones completely change modern warfare. Now, we're entering the next phase. Robots designed specifically to fight other robots. As autonomous systems become more common, countries that can help develop them quickly could gain a huge technological advantage. Whether we are in it or not, AI and robotics can become a much bigger part of national defense. This is probably one of those uncomfortable stories of the week for me. On one hand, yeah, sure, like if those defenses can save us from drones and save real human lives, which are the most valuable things, sure, I mean, it's a great thing, I guess. But at the same time, the question becomes, where do we draw the line and whether those defense systems are not just going to take the weapon and be like, yo, I'm the captain now. You know what I'm saying? So where do we draw this line? How is it going to be decided? And I also like that it's always like a startup. Just like a bunch of 20-year-olds got together, gave it a name, Bullfrog, and we're like, yeah, sure, we're going to shoot up drones. Cool. Anyway, my prediction is that autonomous defense and attack systems are just going to get integrated more and more into military. So there's no running from it. It's just, I guess, Terminator is inevitable. It is what it is. While a lot of stuff with robotics is associated with like small companies and startups, this story is definitely not about them. Because Boston Dynamics has always been the company that whenever you talk about humanoid robots, you talk about them, and probably the model Atlas have once or twice been on your YouTube feed. But this week reports suggest that even the biggest names in robotics feel the pressure. And where there is pressure, there is also some drama happening. According to recent reports, Boston Dynamics is going through a major internal shakeup as parent company Hyundai pushes for one thing above everything else: commercialization. For years, Boston Dynamics became famous for building some of the most advanced robots on the planet. Atlas could run, jump, backflip, and perform movements that seemed impossible. The problem is, incredible demonstrations don't automatically become successful products. While newer companies like Figure AI, 1X, Unitree, and Atronic are racing toward large-scale manufacturing, Hyundai reportedly wants Boston Dynamics to move faster and turn Atlas into a robot that can actually be produced at scale. Internal targets are set to focus on dramatically lowering production costs over the next few years, bringing Atlas closer to commercial deployment instead of remaining a high-cost research platform. Right now, Atlas is still being developed for industrial use inside Hyundai's own manufacturing facilities. You can't order one to your warehouse, and you can't obviously order one to your house. But behind the scenes, pressure is growing. The race isn't about building the most impressive robot anymore. It's about building one that thousands of companies can actually afford. This story says a lot where the robotics industry is today. Just a few years ago, companies were competing to build the smartest robot. Today, they're competing to build the first successful robot business. Investors don't just want viral videos anymore. They want factories, customers, revenue. And that's changing the priorities of even the biggest names in robotics. If Boston Dynamics is feeling the pressure, you bet every other robotics company is too. Well, as always, I have some mixed feelings about this. Because honestly, I love Boston Dynamics as much as the next guy. Because these guys were the ones who were one of the first ones pushing actual robots to their limits, showing us how they can do tricks, what they can learn. Basically, half of the technologies we see today were advanced by Boston Dynamics. At the same time, sooner or later, robots have to leave the labs and go to work at factories and houses. So what I think is going to happen, there's going to be a lot more drama coming out of Hyundai and Boston Dynamics collaboration. And also soon we'll be measuring companies not by the cool demo videos they can produce, but what they can actually produce and ship and we can buy. The world is moving fast, so even the big boys got to hurry up and start running. And this brings us to the next segment. So what is an actual reason that we don't have millions of robots working around us? It's not that they can't walk or take things. It's because people don't trust them and they're just not safe. And this week, Nvidia announced something that can actually help to change that. Nvidia officially introduced Halos for robotics, a new safety platform designed to help robots work around people much more safe. At first glance, this doesn't sound like most exciting announcement of the week. It's not a new humanoid robot. It's not some crazy backflip, but here's why it's important. As robots become stronger, faster, and start working closer to humans, safety becomes one of the biggest challenges in the entire industry. Halos is designed to constantly monitor what a robot is doing, helping it detect risks, react faster, and stay within safe operating limits while interacting with people. Nvidia says the system is built to run alongside its robotics hardware platform, giving developers another layer of protection when building the next generation of autonomous machines. In simple words, the smarter the robots become, the more important safety software becomes for us. Imagine a humanoid robot carrying a heavy box in a warehouse, or helping an elderly person stand up, or working next to you in factory. If that robot makes one mistake, someone could get seriously hurt. And that's why safety software isn't just another feature, it's what makes real-world deployment possible. I think this is the most underrated news from this week. It's not gonna get so many views as robot doing a cool dance, but this is what moves the technology forward. Yes, safety protocols are not cheap and almost annoying. Probably they will give hard time to a lot of startups that now would have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy the safety software. But honestly, I think it's just necessary. It is necessary. And in 5 years, it's going to be the same thing as airbags in the car. No one will move forward without it. That's on the software side of things. But let's come back to the fun part, to the actual hardware. So if you had to bet, making robots walk and making them handling things, how much harder is it than making them walk? 2 times, 3 times? Well, I'd say it's about 20 times. Most of the robots can run and do flips at this point. I don't think there is a single one that can do your hair, for example. And this week, we might just see it change. This week, WiRobotics officially showcased its new Allex Hand. And honestly, it's one of the most impressive robotic hands I've seen in a while. The company also opened it up for purchase, with standalone hand priced at around $4,000, aimed at developers, researchers, and robotics companies. What makes it special isn't just how many fingers it has or how fast it moves. it's how naturally it interacts with objects. During live demonstrations, the Allex Hand handled delicate glassware, picked up tools with different shapes and weights, and adjusted its grip in real time without needing engineers to manually program every single movement. Instead of following a fixed set of instructions, it combined vision, touch sensors, and AI to figure out how to hold an object safely as it's interacting with it. This might sound simple, but it is one of the hardest subjects in robotics right now. Because we as humans, we just pick up a mug with coffee or a screwdriver. We don't think how hard we need to squeeze it. The robots have to measure it and think and somehow know. Teaching a robot to make those tiny adjustments has taken researchers decades, and that's why this story is much bigger than one robotic hand. Dexterity has always been one of the biggest bottlenecks in robotics. A robot can have incredible AI, it can walk, it can navigate, but it can't reliably pick up everyday objects. It's not going to be useful in homes, hospitals, or warehouses. Honestly, it's one of those technologies that people just don't appreciate enough. It's not some hype, cool stuff. It's not even something that you think about, right? Because you just do this, it's normal for you. But for robot, this comes out to billions of calculations in the moment. Sensors, cameras, bam, bam, bam. So I don't mind robots dancing or running. What I'm interested in, that it can fold my t-shirt perfectly while doing laundry instead of taking and ripping it apart. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, $4,000 for a hand, it's not cheap, but come on, if you're building a robot, it's also not that expensive. But also, it's not just about this $4,000 hand, it's about the actual progress in motorics of actual robots, which is, I am super excited about. So now we should just start waiting till the moment where we're not gonna be excited by robots picking up something, but where we'll be expecting them to pick up and put things perfectly every single time. Robotics industry, as usually, moves at, I don't even know, light speed, techno speed, whatever speed is. So there is always news about everything. And I just try to bring you the cool ones and the truly important ones. Hopefully you learn something new and something that excites you about the future of robotics. See you next Sunday with more exciting stuff. Tony offline.